Hi, it's Catherine with Yoga from the Heart with Catherine. Welcome. It's yoga time. Hope that you've been having a great day wherever you are in the world and that you're just taking some time for you. Um, my classes are donation based, and if you would like to, you can send me a little bit of love through PayPal or through the Venmo. They'll be listed in the start of the video. And anyway, just going to do a little simple kneeling salutation portion. We're going to do a little stretching, a little bit of movement, and then get into that. I'm going to keep this one a little short, just an introduction on type practice. My assistant Charlotte is here, and I'm sure that other furry critters from the Elsen household will be here as well. I'm going to draw from my mindfulness cards today. And while I'm doing this shuffling, if you want to make sure that you have two blocks or items that you, if you need them, this are going to be as modification for that little bit of flow. And also a blanket or a towel that you can put underneath your knees. If you're more advanced, you don't necessarily need the blocks, but I want to show how to use those. Okay? So go ahead and get yourself going while I'm shuffling here into the mindfulness cards. We're going to be drawing from the curiosity and joy section of this deck. I guess those cards got to get back in there, right? Ha. Did I get them all? Okay, got them all. It's a fun little deck. And when you're ready, get yourself on your sits bones, sitting there on your mat in your happy place. Giving ourselves a little bit of love. And I think this is the card, just one, that I'm going to draw for today. Where is my mind now? Loaded question. All right, find yourself in a seated spot. Okay. The distractions of modern life pull our attention in a dozen directions. So becoming distracted or losing track of mindfulness is natural. If you find yourself overwhelmed by distractions, asking the question, where's my mind now, can be a very effective way to bring yourself right back to the present awareness. Okay. Try repeating this phrase to yourself when you find that your attention is bouncing around. And over time, you will start to learn a great deal about where your mind tends to wander when it's left to its own direction and own devices. So where is my mind now? Cool. I'll read it at the end. Fun card. Fun card. Staying a little hydrated, a little bit of electrolytes. Not necessarily my choice, but some days I need a little bit more. Okay. So I'm going to move the bolster out of the way. Not going to need it for now. Might need it at the end for sitting on. Okay. So the first thing is that if you're in a seated position and you have those blocks, you want to just do is bring the blocks either underneath your sits bones or even on the outside edges of your thighs. I'm just going to actually drop mine because I'm sitting here crisscross and just let those outer edges of my thighs rest on the blocks. Not necessary, it's just there. Okay? Just sit nice and tall. Anchor in your sits bones into the earth. And close your eyes. And giving yourself a chance just to let go of anything, the day, maybe what's coming up. You don't know. Just give yourself a few minutes for you. I'm going to breathe in and out through your nose. Don't worry about sitting tall. Just connect and collect that breath. Eyes might be closed or heavy. Wondering where your mind is now. experts in yoga. You slowly start to deepen your breath. So every breath in through the nose, you're just going to sip it in a little longer. And as you exhale through that nose, you're going to let it go just a little slower. Just slowing this rhythm down, allowing the heart rate to also slow down. Let go of all those things that kind of get in the way of your purpose. The breath is flowing nice and even in through the nose and out through the nose. Try to keep that about the same breath in time, breath out time. And just notice if you're starting to feel a little relaxed, and that's okay. Continue that breath. And the exhale too. Just feeling. Just acknowledging where you are and knowing that you are in the most perfect place, a place designed specifically and purposefully for you. What I like about doing my yoga practice at home is that it's home. I can roll my mat out, give myself permission to do it whenever I need it. And sometimes I need it more on certain days than I do others. Right. 2 more nice big deep breaths in and out. And at the end of that second exhale, almost there, I want you to just kind of roll those shoulders in just a little bit. Kind of scoop through the low back. Maybe tuck the chin in toward your chest. And then with the inhale, sit tall. Pull those shoulders back. Let the hands rest on your knees. I'm going to bring our hands up high overhead. Exhale those hands into your heart center. Let's do that 2 more times as we breathe in. Just gathering all those little things that like to float around us. Tuck them at heart. Last time. Big breath in. And out. Feels so good. Here, once your hands settle in at your heart, set your intention, your dedication. And intention is just what we're working on. A lot of times, it might just be my breath. That might be kindness. Be sending love to another person. Whatever it is, seal it in close. And when you're ready, move those hands back up high overhead. Let your gaze follow. And then just let the hands flutter. Nice and easy. Down to your lap. Roll your shoulders up and down and back. Nice job. And if you want to do is move those blocks out toward the top of your mat, you can do that. No, you can keep them there at your knees. I'm going to just bring my feet out in front of me. Okay. Now, sitting with myself facing the camera, a little hard to see. What I'm going to do is widen my feet just a little bit, maybe a little wider than hips. And if you're on your mat, you might even want to do is bring your heels to the long edge of the mat on each side and let the toes drape off. Okay, this is kind of a nice measure, all right? And then once you get those feet there, what I'm going to do is walk the hands behind us and press the palms nice and deep into the earth and just kind of lean back into your arms. Walk a little bit just to let the hands absorb into the earth, right? And then gently find stillness. We're just going to windshield wiper those knees left and right 3-4 times, right? Just lubricating the joints, sending some love to the knees and to the hips. let your chin follow the direction of your knees if you like, or maybe just be still. Okay? Nothing to worry about here. Just exploring. All right. And once you've gotten both sides done, bring those knees back into center. And then I want you to lean forward and just heavily drape your arms over your shins. Let your belly hang in between your legs. That's okay. And then just draw the chin in toward the chest and be nice and heavy through the back of the neck. Feel that breath, and it's pushing your ribs away and they're opening. It feels so good. Big breaths in. I'm feeling the belly move too. I always like how everything is connected to the breath. Yeah. Okay. And then slowly bring yourself back up, nice and strong through that beautiful spine of yours. Roll your shoulders up and down and back. And bring ourselves with the legs out nice and long. I'm going to turn on my mat. And so the mat feet are nice and long out in front of us. And those hands behind us. Now the legs are straight, but slightly wider. And then just kind of weeble wobble back and forth on your hands. All right? Just shifting the weight. And just getting a little bit. Oh, I decided I needed to do a cow. So I pushed into my hands and pointed my toes and lift that belly up. Kind of feel a nice big scoop through the back. Let the head be heavy. And then just gently roll the ribs in between the elbows. Point the toes in toward the knees and tuck the chin. Just finding a seated cat. Okay. Big stretch. Feeling it in my low back today. Inhale. I'm going to bring myself up into that seated cow. And back into a seated cat. I'm going to do this one more time. Okay. Maybe you need to love you too. Thank you. Nice. I'm down here. Michael, I'm recording. I'm recording a class. My husband loves me. Isn't that sweet? And yeah, he is. He's a sweetie. Okay. So nice and easy. Let's draw that belly nice and heavy. And forward. Again, once we're doing stuff at home, it is just there, right? Okay. And then slowly walking the hands up toward the thighs. You laugh, right? And leaning into those thighs, into the knees. And just leaning over. Pushing the toes and wobbling. Yeah, feels good. And then nice and easy, up we come, up we come. All right. I'm going to bring ourselves into a kneeling position. I'm going to do a tabletop. So I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my blanket here and put it into the middle, just slightly past the middle of my mat. So my middle's right here. And I really want my belly button to be kind of over that. So I'm going to put the blanket back just a little bit. Don't need tons of blanket because I'm in my house on the carpet. So I'm going to bring it back a bit and tuck my knees onto the blanket just to give them a little cushion. The knees are under the hips. The legs are scooted back. Okay. See how that feels. You don't have to use it, but I'm going to use it for right now. Okay. And then bring my hands underneath my shoulders as I lean forward into that tabletop. Okay. Spreading the hands super wide. Placing them down so that the wrists and elbows are underneath the shoulders. You just feel as I soften and let the shoulder blades just relax, tucking the chin in toward the chest. All right. And then nice and easy, I'm going to walk the hands out just a little bit further. Okay. And push my hips back toward my heels, finding myself in a child's pose or modified, okay? Mine's really not a normal child's pose, but I'm just kind of feeling a little bend in the knees. And then I'm going to move forward onto my hands and just lean, kind of straightening out those legs a little bit and back. Just kind of doing almost like a modified chaturanga. Just moving forward and back. Just a little bit of stretch through those flexors, strengthening the shoulders. And one more time. Nice and easy. Maybe even dropping the hips down and back up. Yeah, okay. Finding that child's pose this time, really walking the hands out a lot further out in front of me. And letting the head hang heavy. Forehead can even be touching the earth. And then slowly walking my body back up into that tabletop. All right. Now here, what I'm going to do is just widen the hands and step that right foot forward in between the hands. Okay. Now here's where the blocks are going to come into handy. I'm going to place them up just where I would bring my hands. I'm going to bring those blocks and place them. And then just put my hands on the tops of the block. My foot is pretty much in the center. There it is. Okay. And my body is resting on the top of that right thigh. And as I do, as I start to lean forward, I'm stretching this left hip flexor right here. Letting these blocks support and lift me up. Now you don't have to use them. Maybe your mobility allows for your hands to be nice and flat. And you can bring your body down. Okay? But I sure like the blocks. And you can use a book. You can use a heavy, firm pillow if you have one. Right, a nice big stretch. Okay? And then just gently push the hips back, finding a little bit of a hurdle position. Maybe even lifting that right toe just a little bit. Only moving the blocks so you can see. Feeling this in the hamstring. And then moving forward, lifting the chin up, feeling a nice, beautiful stretch. And exhale back. Yeah. Lifting the right toes. All right, one more time, bringing it forward. And exhale back. Okay. All right, now this time, I'm just going to bring myself into neutral. And slide, oh, excuse me, kitty. Slide that right knee behind me. And coming back in to my tabletop. Yeah, okay. Settling out of court with my kitty. I didn't realize she was right there. Okay. In that tabletop, settling the shoulders. Knees are into the hips. All right. Then we're going to do is I move forward and back a little bit. Widen those hands out. And then step that left foot forward. Okay. Don't worry if it's not easy. It's a little awkward. Okay. And this time I'm going to show how to do that without the blocks. I'm just going to put those blocks over the side. So I've walked my hands up and forward. Palms come down. And my body is resting on that left thigh. Okay. And you can lean forward. You know, you can even come up on your fingertips if you want. Okay. You just don't want to put too much stress on the wrists, the fingers. I'm going to exhale and just glide it back into that low lunge and that hurdle. And then forward into the low lunge. There we go. Nice big stretch for that right hip flexor. Feeling it in my left hip flexor as well. And exhale back. One more time forward. Just lifting the chin, big stretch there. And back. And then this time as I bring myself forward, I'm just going to prop the fingers and slide that left leg back, finding that tabletop. I'm going to move myself back into a child's pose. Maybe walk the hands in. And then nice and slowly, I'm going to move forward onto my elbows. And then drop down onto my belly. And just bring myself down into belly down shavasana. Okay, now belly down shavasana. You're spread out on your mat. Bring your chin down onto your hands, onto the mat, and turn your head so that the right ear or left ear is on the mat. You choose which side you do. And bring the arms down alongside you. Just gonna let everything reset. Okay? 2 or 3 breaths here. Inhale, bring your chin into center and go opposite direction with that head. Just giving some balance and some love. Okay. Microphone's excluded. Maybe roll the fingers and pump the hands because that feels good. Yeah. And then bring the chin into center and, excuse me on the microphone there, what I'm going to do is nice and easy. Bring the heels up, leave the knees low, and then just windshield wiper those knees and feet. Moving the feet left and right. That's okay. Oh, it feels good. And then slowly let the feet paddle and pedal down to the earth. We're going to bring our hands under our shoulders and push up and into that child's pose one more time. And move it forward into tabletop. All right, how you doing? Get a drink of water if you need it. I'm going to bring my blocks back onto the mat just to give a little bit of support. All right. Find my way into tabletop once you got that drink. All right. And then we are going to gently walk the hands out and step that right foot forward. Okay. And widen that foot. Widen it out. Okay. Maybe it needs to be as wide as your mat is. Right. And then walk these blocks back. Walk them back a little bit more toward your body. Okay. All right. And then nice and slowly, what I'm going to do is bring the hands to the top of the blocks and start to lengthen up. Okay. Feel a nice big stretch for that left hip flexor. And I'm just using these blocks as support. You can even turn them long way. Yeah. It's the same thing. All right. And then if it feels good, try walking one hand and then the other to the top of that right thigh. This is where having that foot a little wider helps. And then we bring our hands up high, reach them up. Lots of energy flowing through those fingers. And exhale, bring the hands back down to the blocks or to the floor. Push yourself back into that hurdle and forward, lifting and hurdle and lifting. All right, and then gently, carefully scooting that right foot back. Bring the hands down, find your way into tabletop, and just let everything reset. Maybe even bump the fingers. Yeah. All right, and now we're going to do the other side. Okay, and I'm going to move the blocks so you can see how this looks without the blocks. Okay, hands are out nice and wide. And step that left foot forward. All right, coming up. Maybe up onto the fingertips. Lifting up without the assist on the blocks. Just using the torso, walking that left foot out just a little bit. Giving myself a little bit more balance. Okay. Bringing the hands to the top of the thigh. You got this. Okay. Brace those turbulence. All right. Hands come up high overhead. And we exhale, bring them down to the thigh. Back down onto the earth. Hands are there all the way down. Moving back into that hurdle and forward. Back. Nice and easy. Forward. And then gently bringing yourself into neutral. Maybe even walking that hand in. Knees come back into child's pose. Yeah. Breath, it feels so good. And then nice and slowly move yourself forward. Drop yourself back down onto those sits bones. Kind of spin. All right. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. Sit bones are right in the middle. Knees and feet are out toward the bottom of my mat. My knees are up. And I'm putting my hands back behind me. Nice and easy. You're going to windshield wiper those knees to the left and to the right, or right and then the left, or whatever it is that you are doing. Yeah. And then bring yourself into stillness. Once again, bringing the fingers to the knees, letting the arms drape down around the shins, and just letting the body hang heavy, the head and the belly in between the thighs. Move that head side to side, up and down. And then gently, fingers to the knees. We're going to bring ourselves all the way down. Nice and long. Okay. I want you to leave that left leg nice and long, straight. And bring the right knee up toward your chest. Fingers come around that knee. Maybe find some nice lazy movement with that hip. Oh, circles. Feels good. Okay, go put directions. With challenge to the brain. Right. And then stillness, avoiding the rib cage, bringing that right knee up toward the shoulder as best you can. Maybe even having the hands underneath the knee. Okay. All right. Opening up the arms enough so you can bring that left knee to the chest and move side to side. Slow it down, find stillness, transfer the hands to the left knee and drop that right foot down. Squeeze the left knee in toward the shoulder. Lots of good going on for our belly, inside. All those organs loving this as you flatten the shoulders into the earth. Nice squeeze for the hip flexors, releasing lots of emotion. And then gently letting the right leg come back up to the belly, maybe separating the knees just a little bit. A little wider than the ribs and moving side to side. All right. Now find stillness and bring the knees into the chest, squeeze them in. I'll just scooch my legs up until legs up the wall, wiggle my toes, and then bend the knees and drop them back down to the earth. Let the legs go nice and long. And walk your way into Shavasana. Told you we were going to be quick. Yeah. Always give yourself time for Shavasana, even just 2 or 3 minutes. It's amazing what it'll do for you. Our breath in and out. Let those arms widen and the hands and feet wiggle and the legs are heavy. Just take up space. Yeah. And you just stay right here as you take a big breath in and you let it go. Another big breath in and you let it go. And this third big breath in, just pull it in and a little more and a little more. And then we let it go. Yeah. Okay. And just find Shavasana. Where's my mind now? The distractions of modern life pull our attention in a dozen of directions. So becoming distracted or losing track of mindfulness is natural. If you find yourself overwhelmed by distractions, asking this question, where's my mind now, can be a very effective way to bring yourself back into the present awareness. Try repeating this phrase, where's my mind now, to yourself when you find your attention bouncing around, and over time, You will start to learn a great deal about where your mind tends to wander when left to its own devices. Where's my mind now? You start to bring your awareness back. Move those fingers and flutter the toes. Stretch and reach and feel your connection coming right back here. And then nice and easily, when you're ready, just roll yourself over to your favorite side. Let the knees come close to your chest and your favorite side arm be a pillow, okay? Slowly press yourself up into a seated position. Take a breath. And then nice and sweetly lift those hands up high overhead. And we exhale the hands into our heart center. Namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. I honor the light, the love, the beauty, the truth, the kindness in you, because it's in me too. And with these things shared, love, goodness, it's nothing that's different or distant between us. We are the same and one. From my grateful heart to yours, from my noisy home to yours, my house full of love. Namaste. Thanks for sticking with me. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your day. And know you're missed. I'll see you soon.